There's one superpower that most agents are missing that is incredibly easy to get, and if you get it, then your entire business is going to change forever. You see, one of the biggest problems is that most agents are not where they want to be right now, for the exact example that I'm going to break down for you today, to make sure that if you're struggling or you're not where you want to be, that doesn't have to be the case any longer. So I'm going to break down this superpower, not only explain to you what happens with most agents and why they don't have it, but also explain to you at the end how you can get it in order to completely change your production and start to build the life that you've always wanted and why you got into the industry. What's up, guys? My name is Mike Sherrard with eXp. I train thousands of agents every year, and this is near and dear to my heart because, again, I do train thousands of agents every year, and I hear it all. And I talk to a lot of people that are struggling. They're not where they want to be. They feel like giving up. They're, saying that they're full of anxiety and all of these different issues that is stopping them from taking action. And I don't want that to be the case for you. And so let me unpack this, because this is not going to be the video that most agents are searching for, but it's truthfully the one that most need. And so just to get straight to the point, the superpower that most agents are lacking is the ability to execute when you don't feel like it. And so I urge you not to just leave because you think it's obvious, but really understand this, because the ones that leave are the ones that probably need this the most. But the truth of the matter is that most people struggle because they only do the work they know they need to get done when they feel like it. So they don't record content because they're sad, or they don't prospect because they're, emotional, or they don't, they wake up on the wrong side of the bed and they don't feel like cold calling, so they don't do it. Or, they make up an excuse if they don't know where to start, so they don't do anything. And so most agents only do the work when they feel like doing the work. The ones that win do the work regardless of how they feel. And I'll give you a stark example of this, and not to say that this is recommended or healthy, but I was sick for a 2-week period and I still recorded an entire program, I think over 100 videos in those 2 weeks while I was sick, because I had a deadline to get, and those videos didn't care whether I was sick or not. I had to get them done, and I got them done, and then I got better and everything was fine. But this is why, if you've ever heard of 75 Hard, this is why that program works so well, because you don't have a choice, right? So 75 Hard, the essence of it is 75 days, 2 workouts a day. One has to be outdoors regardless of weather conditions. And then you have to read 10 pages of a book, drink a gallon of water, stick to a healthy diet, no alcohol, and take a progress photo every day. So that's kind of the essence of it. And I've done it multiple times. It's life-changing. But it's not life-changing because of the physical part. It's life-changing because on the days you don't feel like going outside, when it's raining, when it's snowing, to go do that workout, you have to do it anyway. And that's where most agents approach their business, in this fair weather way, where if they don't feel like doing something, they just don't do it. And that's why they're broke. And the ones that win say, I don't care how I feel, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to give you some examples of what you could do in order to start to move in that direction, because it's not like you can just snap your fingers and suddenly you're, this super machine where you can execute under any condition. But you have to work toward that direction, because if you don't do the activities like recording, for example, because you're just not in the mood, those are loser behaviors. That's broke behaviors. And that's why most agents struggle. Because they're treating this like a hobby, not like a business, not like a necessity, not like your life is on the line. And the ones that win do, because you could lose it all tomorrow. And so it's really important to start to execute regardless of how you feel. And the best part is as you start to do that more and you start to train your body, you almost always feel like doing it. And so it's just this little bit of a buffer period where it really does suck, but anything that sucks is what leads to something great. And so let's start to dive into some of the things that you can do in order to do better at this. Okay, so this is a 3-step process that I encourage you to take notes of and actually implement after this video, because time is not on any of our hands, and we need to do things immediately after learning them. One of the worst things I see is serial learners. They watch every YouTube video, they go to every seminar, they go to every webinar, they paid for every program, and they still don't do anything with it. And so I encourage you, and I urge you after you do this video and after you get through the end to actually do what I'm about to say. The first thing is gaining clarity on why you're doing this and putting that everywhere. Let me explain. So what are your goals? What are your missions? What's your why, right? Very cliche, but it's important, right? Is it your family? Do you want to get, a certain house, a certain car, go on a certain trip? What do you want? Retire your parents, like make an impact on those who are less fortunate and give back. Like what matters the most to you? What's your why? Why are you doing this, right? Nobody gets into real estate and just dabbles and says, I'm just gonna play around and if it doesn't work out, I don't really care, right? You get in the industry because you wanna change lives, you wanna impact, you wanna connect, and you wanna change your own life. And so why are you doing this? Write that out, but have a physical representation of it everywhere. So for me, mine is family, right? And so the desktop background, my phone background, my laptop background, like everything, photos around my house, family, right? That's why I'm doing it. So on the days where I don't feel like doing the hard work, like literally recording this video right now because it's 9 p.m. on a Saturday and I've been recording all day, I think of my family. And I think if I don't do this stuff, I'm letting them down. It's not about letting myself down, right? We can all let ourselves down. But don't let those people down who care about you and who believe in you and who supported you. And so you need to have that physical representation everywhere, because when you don't feel like doing something, look at your phone, look at the background and be like, wow, okay, got to get back to it. Or look at your, desktop or your laptop or your fridge or whatever, but have it everywhere. The second thing is setting clear measurable goals with KPIs. The third thing is going to be the biggest one, but the second one is mapping out your annual goals, reverse engineered a quarter, and based on operating on quarters only every 3 months. That should be your distance of execution. Break out all of the outcomes that you want that quarter. Not all the mini tasks, the outcomes. Launch this project, become an expert in my CRM, get on YouTube and launch my channel, become familiar with ChatGPT, redo my listing presentation, prospect for X amount of time, like whatever that looks like, but get clarity on your goals with KPIs. Right, let me give you an example of this. I got out of shape for a little bit. I was sick, I was traveling, there was a bunch of stuff going on that was, just frustrating. And so I got a little bit out of shape. And so what did I do? I set a target and I said, I want to lose 30 pounds. And I got a scale, a Bluetooth scale that's on my phone, and I got another Whoop band. And so because I have daily KPIs, there was about a 2-month window period where I was kind of average at the gym. And then when I got the scale and I weighed myself every morning when I got up, and I got the Whoop band and I track myself and I look at the analytics every morning when I wake up, I'm so much more diligent because I have KPIs to follow and to hit, right? So what gets measured gets managed. When you can visually see what you need to get done on a daily basis and the progress of whether or not you're on track or not, that will make a massive difference. So you need to get clear on the activities you need to do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, to get you to your outcomes that you have for the next month, 2 month, 3 month, the full quarter. Now lastly, part number 3 is the most important one, which is understanding the wedge of expectations. And what the wedge of expectations is essentially what most people do when they start to, they get a bit of a kick in the butt and they realize, oh damn, I'm not where I want to be, so I'm gonna get back at it. Okay. What they do is they get back to their schedule and they write out the ideal schedule, the ideal scenario, right? And this is their 2 videos a week on long form, 3 videos a week on short form, prospecting X amount of times per week, follow up with clients, 10 people a day. Like they design their calendar for the ideal, but they're running before they can walk. But not only that, we know that there's going to be inevitable days where we don't feel at peak. You wake up sick. You know, something unfortunate happens. You have an argument with your significant other, or you lose a listing, or you lose a client, or, you know, there's so many things that can happen that will ruin your day. But the worst thing you can do is nothing. And so what the wedge of expectations is mitigating expectations. Understanding you're gonna have some days where you feel like crushing it, some days you feel like crawling into a hole, but on the days you feel like crawling into a hole, you have to stay in momentum. And the best way to do that is to set 2 parameters for your KPIs. Maybe it's, you know, I'm going to prospect for 2 hours a day, every day, Monday to Friday. But on the day that you feel like absolute garbage, maybe don't prospect because that's going to come across in your energy, but follow up with 5 clients. Send them a quick text message and tell them you're thinking about them and if there's anything you can do to serve them. Like, do something. It's like going to the gym, wedge of expectations. Ideal day, work out 1 hour a day. Non-ideal day, walk for 15 minutes. And so what this does is it makes sure you're constantly in momentum. And what that does is it means that going back to the beginning of the video, even when you don't feel like doing anything, you still do something. And when you still do something, you stay in momentum. And when you stay in momentum, you build momentum. When you build momentum, everything that you're working toward will come to life. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, as long as you stay consistent. And so, again, I constantly want to harp on this. The quickest way to lose, the quickest race to the bottom, the quickest way to exit the industry is to not do the things you know you need to do just because you don't feel like doing it. Trust me, there are so many things that I do on a weekly basis that I don't feel like doing because I know I need to. And it's got to get done whether I feel like it or not, if I want to hit my goals. If you're not serious about hitting your goals, then probably shouldn't be in the industry. But if you are serious, which is who I'm speaking to, then I encourage you to take this seriously and to actually do something with it. So if you have any questions about the mindset of taking action, staying consistent, getting outside of your own head and getting back into momentum, just drop a comment below. I respond to all of them. I really want to see you win. I don't want to see you take massive action and not be one of those agents that fail out of the industry. So if you got value from this, please just subscribe if you haven't, or smash the like button if you have. And thanks again, because this is one that's near and dear to my heart. I know it might not get the most views, but I know it will help one person out there who actually does something with it. And if you like this video, check out the next one because it's the most recommended one for you. And otherwise, we'll see you in the next video.